So today I'm going to winterize a 2008 Sea-Doo Challenger 180 with the 215 horsepower Rotax engine. So I'll show you what you have to do first. Here's what you're going to need. So an empty jug for your oil, some storage oil, of course your key because you'll have to start it. I find that it's nice to have the quick connect fitting for your hose. You need some fuel stabilizer, pump to pump the oil out of your engine because there's no drain plug at the bottom, and some winter antifreeze. So the first thing we're going to do is put the fuel stabilizer in the tank. The tank's already full in this one. This takes like 100 milliliters per 30 liters, so we have to put 300, just a little bit over 300 milliliters in there. So here's the milliliters on the side, so we're about at 5, so 1, 2, 3, so I want to keep just a little bit under 200 and we'll be good. So we're adding that straight into the fuel tank. And you want to do that first because you'll need to run your engine in order to do the, oh that's good, in order to do the oil change, because you want to warm up your oil so it's easier to go through your pump. So because you're doing that, then your fuel is gonna go to all of your fuel line and all this stuff. So if you put the fuel stabilizer first, then you're making sure that all the lines are gonna stay good for the winter. So the next thing we're going to do is connect this part of the quick connect here to the boat, because when you run the engine out of the water, you need to actually have a hose connected to it. You shouldn't run those engines out of the water for too long. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see that on camera, but here that's where you can thread your quick connect. You're just gonna make it way easier to do the job instead of trying to connect the hose all the time. Of course I had to drop it. Okay, got started. You can move the bucket down here. That's gonna make it easier. So yeah, so now I got this connected. Now I can connect the other side to the hose. Okay, so I got the flex garden hose connected to it now. Now you want to wait for a second, like before you turn the water on. I got the tap on this hose. Because you're gonna flood the engine if you don't pinch some hose in there into your engine compartment if you start the hose right away. So with mine I can start it and I get a quick connect. I get the valve, a quarter turn valve on the hose, so I can start my hose, and then when I'm ready to start the boat I can come and turn the hose on here. So now I'll turn on the hose. Now I get the hose connected, prime, ready to go with water in here. So we're gonna go inside the boat and start it, and then you should never let it run without water for more than 5 seconds. So we'll have to rush out of the boat, or if you have assistance, get somebody to help you. And then you start it, and then you start the hose right away. Okay, so now that we got the hose connected, we're gonna start the engine. Before you start the engine, like if you have a Sea-Doo boat, you already know you need to start the fan for a few minutes. I already did, so I'm just gonna start it now. Just start it. Now we're just gonna go right away. Start the water at the back. much. So I closed up the valve, turn off the engine. I'll remove the key or it's gonna keep beeping on us. Okay, so water's turned off. So now we're gonna be able to suck up the oil out of there. So this neat little pump here, I have a small hose that goes right into the tube here. Should have bring myself some rags, but anyway. So yeah, we'll install that and then we'll start pumping in this jug here. So usually I'll put the jug down in here somewhere so that it doesn't have to go up too much and fight gravity for the pump, and it can just keep draining nice and easy. So it's like a vacuum pump, this thing. You just keep going up and down with it, and then you'll suck the oil out and then out of this black hose, and then it pumps it into the red hose. Yeah, so now I'm just feeding the hose down the tube. I think it should be close to the bottom here. I start feeling a little bit of resistance. So grab the pump and I'll put the other end of the hose in the bucket here. It might be a bit hard to do that with one end, so I'll try to put the phone down and then just show you on the side here. There it goes now. Sometimes you have to play with it quite a bit before, if there's any leak. Into this air leak into this hose, then that's not going to suck up the oil. So you can see it going into the tube slowly. You press it down, it does suction, and then when you raise it back up, it lets the old oil go to the bottom part of the pump, and then as you're putting pressure to suction to suck more in, then it's pushing at the bottom the oil that is underneath. Okay, so the pump is just sucking up air now. So we're done taking the oil out of the engine. So let's see how much we got in my big container here. So we get the bottom of the container full anyway. It doesn't take too much. I think it just takes like 3 liters to fill up this thing, 2.5 liters. Yeah, so that's not too much oil. Okay, so it's getting dark in there, so I had to go get myself a flashlight and before I could continue this, because we're already in October. I want to hurry up to winterize everything because they're calling for frost in the weekend. We're in the middle of the week right now, so I've got some time to get it done, but I have to do that after work, and the sun goes down early here in Canada in October. So anyway, so now I open this, we're gonna fill up our oil, and then we'll check the spark plug and do the storage oil and run some RV antifreeze in the system in a second. So we got our funnel, and we'll put the oil in. So I buy this kit here. Comes with your filter, should have an O-ring in here, and some oil. It's the SPS lubricant kit for both 5W40 semi-synthetic part in this here. Yeah, synthetic blend, sorry. I said semi-synthetic. Synthetic. Yeah, so it looks like it comes with like 3.5 liter jug there. Now we have to do the oil filter after changing the oil. So I bought a special socket for this when I bought the boat. Now of course, it's in the middle of the night, all of the stores are closed, and I can't find it. So anyway, that also works. It's a 5/16 socket. And there's an O-ring on the bolt here so that the oil don't spray back out. This cap, usually you have to pop them with a screwdriver. So you just pop it and put your screwdriver here on the side there. This, then you just twist it. And usually pop the cap off the oil filter. The kit comes with new O-rings, so you don't have to be, if you're getting that kit, you don't have to be worried about breaking the O-ring like I just did there. I can pass it underneath this hose too. Pop it on this side. Now it's free. So the filter is just a true filter, so it doesn't matter which way you're putting it. There's no face up or face down. So just push it so you have it center here. And on the cap, there's two O-rings. So there's the small one that broke earlier, and then there's the other one here. So this one will replace right now, and then the other one fit at the edge here to kind of double seal the cap. I guess it's probably so that there's no dirt or water that can come and push on that O-ring here. So I just used a flat screwdriver and I pulled this off. So the thicker O-ring sits in the groove at the bottom, and the smaller O-ring just sit at the top like this. Now the cut off part, the part that's flat like this, is going towards the driver's side on the engine. Oh, I forgot to tell you, like, I lubed up the O-ring with a little bit of oil. Makes it easier to pop in, and so that you don't break anything, like you don't hurt them apart when you pop it in. So you just kind of push it, like you put it on there pretty straight, well, straight with the housing, not straight up and down there, because it's sitting a little bit at like a 30-degree angle or whatever. So yeah, so you just make it in the same angle, and then you push it and it's gonna slide in, and after that you can start your boat. You should inspect that O-ring around that boat there. Mine was fine. like the spark plug, you don't want to put this too tight. You know, just tight enough so that it doesn't pop out. It's the O-ring that does the seal, right? So it doesn't matter if you put a lot of pressure on it or not. Plus that bolt there at the end, there's a stopper anyway after the thread, so you can yank on it as many times as much as you want. You won't put more pressure on those O-rings. You'll just end up breaking something. So yeah, put it all the way down and then give it like a 1/8 of a turn after it touch, and then you'll be fine. Doing it with one hand is a pain in the back. I don't have a tripod for my camera. Okay, so anyway, so it touch, and then I'll just go a little bit more. I already went a little bit more before I said that, so anyway, so that would have been like pretty much an 1/8 of a turn there. So this is done. So I filmed a video yesterday and I'm editing it today, and then I realized that unfortunately I'm missing some of the footage about putting the RV antifreeze into the boat, but it's already done, right? I guess I pressed the wrong button when I was filming it. So anyway, I'm just gonna run through what you have to do it. I can't do it right now because I already did the whole thing, so the engine is fogged and all that stuff, but yeah, let's go through that really quick. So here I have a piece of hose that I cut. So this, I put the quick connect on this, usually hook it underneath the bolt, the quick connect, and then I made it long enough so I can just go through here like this through the handle, and then I put the funnel at the end, and then with the funnel like this I just put a couple of rag to hold it up more like this, and then you need to go and start the boat, and then after the boat is starting, you do like when you were doing the water earlier, you just, but instead of water it's the RV antifreeze, which is safe for the environment and it's non-toxic. So now you're gonna pour that into your funnel. You'll see that the funnel will fit up, and then it won't really go down that fast. It takes a little bit before it starts to go through the system, and then you're just gonna keep topping up your funnel and filling it up. Don't worry about how much is going in there and stuff. Like, I buy the big bottle, but the big jug, but with just a 1 liter jug you would have enough to do that. And then you would do that until you would see the pink rushing out. So at the beginning it's going to be the remaining of your water that you had from running the boat earlier when we warm up the oil for the water change, for the oil change. And then so that's gonna run clear, and then whenever it starts running pink, then you're good. That means it went through the whole system. So anyway, that cost almost nothing for this. I think it's like $9 Canadian for a big jug like this. So anyway, I apologize I don't have that footage live, but anyway, let's keep with the let's keep going with the video. So now we have to remove the spark plug in order to fog the engine. So to remove the spark plug, first you're gonna remove this little breather on the side here. It just pushes sideways out of this clip here. You need to remove the dipstick. And then we just lift this cover right out. I can put the dipstick back in if you don't want no dirt to come in. There's 3 cylinders on those engine. So you gotta take your boot out. can unclip it if you want to. Here, let's unclip it. So you just push down and push out. Now you take your boot out. You go inspect for oil residue and stuff in there. I put a lot of the grease on those things, so you can never really have anything in there. No corrosion or nothing. So for the spur plug, it's 5/8 socket. You need a small extension, like 2-inch, 3-inch extension. Now, those stupid socket I bought don't have the boot inside to be able to pull the spur plug out. So anyway, so what you do, it's crack it open. Alright, so just because I'm doing the video and it's too hard to do the socket and the ratchet with one end there, I'll just finish doing the spur plug like this, or just the extension and the socket. So now it's loose, the spur plug don't come because there's no boot, so you use this boot here. You just put it on the spur plug, just click, and it'll come right out. Same when you want to put it back in, you don't want to tap the end there, so you put it back on there, and then you just push it, put it at the bottom, and then you start twisting, and there's a bit of resistance. You can put it back out. Yeah. Okay, I don't know how that part of the video is gonna turn out, because switch it to turn on the engine, make it turn over is a little bit far, and I won't be able to hold the phone and fog the engine in the same time, so I'll just show you anyway. So you just fog it like this, and then usually I do a couple squirt too, as with the engine turning over. Maybe I should put this back in here, make sure that there's nothing splashing in the tube. So yeah, there's no spur plug in those boots, so nothing can fire up. So I'll just crank it over. Double beep. Okay. So usually what I'll do is usually I ask somebody to help me, and then I'll have like a rag as I'm turning it over onto the other cylinder, and then I'll spray one cylinder at the time, and then somebody can just keep cranking it, and then I'll do the 3-cylinder. Alright, so we'll skip that part because I need to do it with the phone down. Okay, so I got the storage oil in there. Now I'm going to put the spur plug back in. So to put the spur plug in, if you don't have a socket that have the boot in there, so you can grab one of those boot, just press here to unclip it and you pull. And then it comes apart from this plug here. Now you can put a spur plug here and put the boot in, give it a couple turn, and take the boot out, and then take your socket and tighten it. So just like this here, because you don't want to let your spur plug fall in, because you're probably going to change the gap by banging the end of it. And yeah, that's important that this gap there at the end here stays the same, or it will change how strong the spark is. Okay, so I put everything tight by hand, and then now we're just gonna tighten up the socket a little bit. Not too tight. So it's tight, maybe like an 1/8 of a turn. You don't want to put it too tight because you don't want to break it in there. There you go. So that's good enough, and now we're ready to put the boots back on. There's still a lot of lactic grease on them, so I won't put nothing, but if you have some handy and you didn't do that yet, then put some lactic grease on there. It's gonna keep the rust away. So now we're just take the dipstick back out. And then we're gonna put the cover back on here. It's pretty much iron it up with the dipstick and you're gonna be fine. There we go, just like this. And this breather needs to go back in here. Just like that. And then we can put the dipstick back on. I'll just give it another wipe. Alright, I just give it a little wipe off camera. Okay, this is back in. Alright, so what's next? Well, I have a water pump, a bilge pump in those boats, and there's always a little bit of water. It's hard to see here. Looks like a little messy here, but anyway, the bilge pump's at front of the engine right here. So that can freeze too. So what I like to do for the winter, I'll put some Harvey antifreeze down in the bilge, and then I'll start the pump for a second. So you can try to pump all your water out and stuff like that, but it's better to have a little bit of Harvey antifreeze in there to make sure that your pump won't freeze up, just in case if there's water. I don't know if you're storing your boat inside or outside. I store mine into a carport outside, but just in case, you never know what's gonna happen. Right? Carport broke or anything like that, and then or the boat cover breaks or rip or something, and then we'll end up having some water getting into the boat. Now, Dutch wood, I guess that kind of counts. It's cardboard, comes from wood, so nothing like that's gonna happen. Anyway, so now I get some Harvey antifreeze in there, some nice pink water at the bottom of the bilge. So I'll just start the pump really quick. And hopefully I'll pump a little bit red. Yeah, see it's starting to cloud a little bit around that water there. It's because it's pumping some Harvey antifreeze out. So now I get the engine protected, the pump protected, everything's protected. I put new coolant in there last year, and the coolant is fine. So I changed the old coolant, so I get new coolant in there, so it's fine. It tested good, but anyway, you should also test your coolant just to make sure that the freezing point is good so it doesn't crack. Okay, so now you have to test your coolant freezing point. Now here in Canada it gets like up to -30 Celsius sometime in the winter, so I want to make sure that the engine is protected at least here. Don't open that too fast if you had the engine running earlier. Now the next thing to do to get your boat ready for storage is actually remove your battery. move your battery and put that on a trickle charge for the winter. And another thing you can do too, because if you're servicing everything, then that can filter, it's time to clean it now and re-oil it. So let's take the battery out of the boat to be able to plug it on a trickle charger for the winter. So for this you need a 9/16 socket. I always start by taking the positive cable out all the time. You take positive, it's always a good habit to have, because if you take positive out first, and same when you put the battery back in, put the positive cable on last, and then even if the positive is connected, when you're unscrewing your cable, what's gonna happen is if you touch the side, and there's nothing on the boat to touch that will spark, but if you would touch the side on your car or your truck or whatever, on the frame or body or whatever, this is all fiberglass, so nothing is gonna happen, but just an habit. So if you do that and you're on the negative cable with your socket and your wrench or your ratchet, when you touch, it won't matter because you're touching ground anyway. So yeah, just a good habit to have. So, and then when you go to the positive wire, then there's no more ground, so it doesn't matter what you touch, you're gonna be okay. So you just have to take that strap out, run the cable. Here's 2 ground cable, 1 positive cable, and this can just get lifted out of here. It's a little bit heavy and pain, but it's all worth it to have a good battery for next season. And now I just put the battery on the shelf with my other batteries, and then just like that, positive the same on the other positive, and now I can put the trickle charge on this one, and then it's gonna trickle charge this winter. I just have 1 trickle charger, so I'm going through all those batteries all the time. Those are for if I have power outage in the house. I have inverters, so I can bring those battery and plug in an inverter for a little bit. And those are my 2 volt battery. I got 2 just in case one fell one time on the weekend or whatever, it doesn't work anymore or don't charge anymore, then I'm not stuck having to pass a weekend on land. Right? When it's boat season, you want to be on the water all the time, so better have 2 batteries and be on the water than just 1 battery and waiting for the store to open. Okay, so now that the boat is winterized, I should take the time to actually, if you have grease buddies on your tires, do the grease buddies, and also check the PSI for your tires. This trailer's calling for 50 PSI. So I'll put 50 here. Yeah, that's the Ryobi inflator there. I have a review about this on my Ryobi channel too. Pretty handy to have. every time you go out with this trailer, you should, yeah, so it's at 50, or the battery's dead. One or the other. Battery's dead. So, yeah, those trailer there, every time you put your boat in the water, like, you should re-grease it, or every few times anyway, because it gets full of water. Even though you fill it up with grease, there's always some water that makes its way in this somehow. Alright, it didn't have too much water this time. Just a little touch. But anyway, yeah, you don't want to let this sit with water all winter. Like, you know, don't want your wheel bearing to sit in the water all winter. That's what I mean. Just put your rubber back in. Got a little wipe. Alright, let's change the battery in here and then we can start this again. Thing is, I just fill up like 4 tire on a pickup truck with this, and that's a small battery. So it needs a new one. Alright guys, well anyway, while I was waiting for the battery to charge, I did the other tire on the other side and a grease buddy and filled up the pressure. But anyway, yeah, you get the idea. That's all you winterize your boat, get it ready for the winter so that it's ready for next summer. Alright, happy boating. So hopefully this video was helpful. I hope you like it. If you do, like and subscribe, and then I'm going to make a lot more video like this. Like I have to winterize my camping trailer and tons of stuff at the property of the grid. So that's where I'm going this weekend. Yeah, so maybe we'll see you in the next video.